Hey everyone, ready for a deep dive? Let's talk about AI, specifically how it's changing education.
Yeah, it's a pretty big deal, right? It's not just about adding computers to classrooms. It's about how AI could completely change how we learn and teach.
Totally. We've got two really interesting sources for this deep dive.
Oh, yeah.
First up, an article.
Okay.
It's called Conceptualizing AI Literacy, an exploratory review from the Computers in Education, Artificial Intelligence Journal.
Catchy. We'll make sure to break that down.
Definitely. And then, to see how this actually works in the real world, we've got this research report, Artificial Intelligence in K-12 Education, Getting a Glimpse of the Future. It's by the RAND Corporation.
Sound like a plan.
So big picture, we're trying to figure out, what does AI literacy even mean, and how could it change education in the future?
And get this, it's already happening. The RAND report, it actually says that almost 20%, like 1 in 5 teachers in the U.S., were already using AI in their classrooms just last fall, 2023.
Wow, seriously, 1 in 5. That's huge. I had no idea.
Uh,
So it's more than just like robots grading papers now.
Right. It's about tools that help personalize the way kids learn.
Hmm.
Platforms like Khan Academy, where
I've heard of it, yeah.
AI kind of tailors the lessons to however fast each student is learning. And that actually goes right back to that use and apply idea, which is a big part of AI literacy.
Okay, so hold on. Let's back up a sec. This academic article, it lays out this whole AI literacy thing as like the essential knowledge you need to do well in a world run by AI.
Makes sense. We need to keep up, right?
Yeah, and the researchers, Davy Yang, Jack Leung, Samuel Chu, and Maggie Cao, they broke it down into 4 main parts.
Kind of like we needed digital literacy to figure out the internet. Now we need AI literacy.
Exactly. Okay, so part 1 is know and understand. Basically, you've got to get what AI is, how it does its thing, and how to actually use it.
Like using computers and smartphones, it's everywhere.
Exactly, just like that.
You can't just pick up a smartphone and know how to use it, right? You have to learn about apps and menus and all that. It's the same idea with AI.
Makes total sense. So
Yeah.
then there's use and apply. That's part 2.
Hmm.
Like, it's not enough to just know about AI. You got to use it to solve real problems.
Sure.
Like, think about learning to read, right? You can sound out all the words, but it only becomes useful when you can actually read
Yeah.
to learn something new and use that knowledge.
And with anything powerful like AI, you have to learn to use it responsibly too. And that's where that third part comes in, evaluate and create.
Ooh, now this is where it gets really interesting. Rick.
Infinitely.
It's about being able to look at what AI can do well and where it messes up and even like what biases it might have.
You've got to think critically. Don't just use AI tools without questioning them,
Huh?
Understand their limits, figure out how they even work in the first place.
It's about making sure students are the ones creating with AI, not just like passively using it.
Totally. For example, this RAND report talked about teachers using AI chatbots like ChatGPT.
I've heard of that one.
They can be great, for personalizing lesson plans and stuff, but they're just tools.
Yeah, the teacher still has to make sure whatever the AI spits out is actually good quality and right for their students, right?
Of course. An AI can probably write something that's grammatically perfect,
Sure.
but can it really understand what the student is trying to say in an essay? Or their own writing style? Not really.
That's such a good point. So AI literacy, it's about teachers knowing how to use these tools well. It's about using AI and still having that human touch in education.
Exactly. They work together.
So we're seeing AI being used for personalized learning, for lesson planning by teachers. Is way more common than a lot of people probably realize. Anything else really interesting you found in that RAND report?
Well, they found that it's interesting. Different subjects seem to be using AI more or less. Like ELA teachers and social studies teachers seem to use AI more than, say, math or science teachers.
Huh. That is interesting. Why do you think that is?
They think maybe it's because ELA and social studies, there's a lot more subjective grading involved,
Yeah.
right? Like personalized feedback and stuff. Those are areas where AI could be really useful.
Yeah. Okay.
But math and science, those are often about, did you get the right answer or the wrong answer? Not as much wiggle room.
Yeah,
No.
true, too. So this isn't about AI replacing teachers. It's more like AI is giving teachers new tools, right?
Mhm.
Tools to help them tackle specific challenges they have in different subjects.
Exactly, exactly. And that actually relates back to that thing about AI literacy, right? It's not just for students.
Oh, yeah. Good.
Teachers need it too. Teachers who really get AI, how it works, what it's good at, what it's not good at, they're going to be the ones who can use these tools really well in their classes.
Makes sense. Okay, so It sounds like AI could be really powerful, right? Like it can make education way more personalized, way more adaptable for every student.
Yeah.
But we also have to think about like, how do we make education accessible and effective for every student? How do those two things work together?
That's where that whole concept of sustainable education comes in. And both of these sources, the article and the report, they both talk about how important it is to make sure that absolutely everyone has access to a good education, no matter, where they live, what their background is, any of that.
Right. I mean, what's the point of using AI to make education better if some students can't even get online, right?
Hmm.
Or if they don't have computers?
Right, exactly. That's a huge thing, bridging that digital divide. We have to make sure that everyone has the chance to actually use these new technologies, these advancements in education, not just a lucky few, everyone.
And even if they do have the technology, we have to make sure it's actually, working.
Yeah.
I mean, that RAND report, they mentioned how some students aren't as engaged online and how dropout rates are higher in online settings.
That's true. That is a real worry. Because, technology is just a tool, right? And just like any other tool, you can use it the right way or you can use it the wrong way.
Yeah.
We have to be really aware of those challenges that come with online learning. We have to find ways to make sure that virtual classrooms, they can be just as engaging, just as supportive as being in a real classroom.
Well, it seems like AI could actually help with that, maybe. Like, couldn't those AI-powered learning platforms help tailor the online experience for each student and make it more engaging?
It's possible, definitely. AI can do some really cool things, like adjusting the content to how each student learns best,
Right.
And it can track their progress in ways that are harder to do in a traditional classroom. But, and this is important, it's not some magic solution.
Right.
We still have to remember the social side of learning, the emotional side. That stuff can be tough to recreate online.
So it's not about just like throwing more technology at the problem. It's about, like you said, using it in a smart way, in a
Mm.
strategic way. And the goal is always to make learning better for all students,
Exactly. And to do that, you need a deep understanding of AI, the good and the bad. You have to know what it can do, what it can't do.
which takes us right back to AI literacy. It sounds like we need more people, like a whole generation of people, educators, people making policy, even parents who really get AI.
Totally.
And then they can help shape how it's used in education, right?
Sure. It's not even just about the techie stuff. It's about the bigger questions. What are we even trying to do with education? How can AI help us get there in a way that actually helps all students? What could go wrong? How do we stop those bad things from happening? Those are the questions we need to be asking.
So it's about like having a vision of what we want education to be in the future and then using AI to get us there.
Exactly.
So where does all this leave us? We've talked about AI literacy. We've talked about how it's already showing up in schools, even some of the like the good stuff and the challenges,
Yeah.
making education accessible for everyone and making it really work. What's the big takeaway here for someone listening?
Honestly, I think the biggest thing is just realizing that AI isn't some far off thing anymore. It's not just in the movies, it's happening now. It's changing education right now, and it's only going to get bigger in the future.
Yeah, it can feel kind of overwhelming, to be
Right.
honest, even for someone like me, and I love learning about this stuff.
Hmm.
What would you say to someone who, like, they want to be more AI literate, they want to get it, but they don't even know where to start?
You actually hit on it earlier. It's curiosity. That's where it starts. Just start paying attention to how AI is already in your life. Think about it. Maybe it's those recommendations you get on Netflix or Spotify or, that navigation app you use to get around. We use AI all the time.
So, like, recognizing that it's not some big scary thing, it's already here.
Totally. And once you start noticing it, then you can start asking those questions like, how does this even work? What information is it using? Is it changing my experience and how?
So it's not just, like, using it without thinking. It's starting to, like, think critically about it.
Exactly. And that's where those 4 parts of AI literacy we were talking about come in. Know and understand. That's like learning the basics. And then use and apply. That's saying, okay, I get it. Now let me try it out. I'm going to use some AI tools.
And then there's evaluate and create, which is like thinking really hard about those tools. Do they work? Do they have problems? Could I even make something like this myself?
Yes. And even though we don't talk a ton about the 4th part, that ethical issues part, it's still really important. Remember, with great power comes great responsibility, right?
Definitely.
As we get more AI literate, we can't forget about the ethics. How can we make sure AI is used to make things better, not worse?
So yeah, it's not enough to just get the technology. We have to shape how it's used,
Yeah.
right? I make sure it's good for everyone.
Exactly. We all need a seat at the table. We all need to be part of the conversation about how AI is going to shape our future.
It's about being a good citizen in this new world, in a world that's more and more driven by AI.
Yes, and anyone can do that, you know? You don't have to be a tech whiz.
Absolutely. Yeah. It starts with curiosity, then it's about thinking critically, and then hopefully it's about all of us having the power to shape this stuff, to make AI work for everybody. This deep dive has been awesome, by the way. I think it's such a good reminder that AI literacy isn't just about understanding AI, it's about understanding ourselves.
Right.
Like, where do we fit in this world that's changing so fast?
Totally agree. It makes you wonder what's next. What amazing things will they come up with in AI? Especially in education, that's so important. But one thing's for sure, it's going to be a wild ride. We're all in this together.